moment of centering silence so we can all come together and be here with one another. Thank you. And now, please remain seated as we sing our in-gathering hymn, which is number 118. And the verses we will sing are in your order of service. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Great. Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Society of Madison. This is a community where curious seekers gather to explore spiritual, ethical, and social issues in an accepting and nurturing environment. Unitarian Universalism supports the freedom of conscience of each individual, as together we seek to be a force for good in the world. My name is Karen Rose Gredler, and on behalf of the entire congregation, I want to extend a special welcome to any visitors who are with us. We are a welcoming congregation, so whomever you are and wherever you happen to be on your life journey, we celebrate your presence among us. Newcomers and anyone else who wants to are encouraged to stay for our fellowship hour after the service, and if you like, to visit the library, which is directly across from the center doors of this auditorium. Bring your beverages and your questions. Members of our staff and lay ministry will be on hand to welcome you. You may also look for persons holding teal-colored stoneware coffee mugs. These are FUS members knowledgeable about our faith community who would be happy to visit with you. Experienced guides are generally available to give a building tour after each service. I understand we have one after this service, so if you are interested in learning more about this sustainably designed edition or our National Landmark Meeting House across the parking lot, please meet near the large glass windows on what is your left side of the auditorium right after the service. We welcome children to stay for the duration of the service. However, because it is difficult for some in attendance to hear in this lively acoustical environment, our child haven back in that corner and our commons along the back of the auditorium are also excellent places to go. You can still see and hear the service in those areas, and if your child needs to talk or move around or jump up and down, those are good places to be. This would also be a very good time to turn off all devices that might cause a disturbance during the hour, especially cell phone ringers, please, because we love to hear those cute little sounds, but not in the middle of some serious moment, in the service. I'd now like to acknowledge those individuals who do help our services run smoothly. We have Mark Schultz, hi Mark, doing the sound control for us. Ann Smiley is our lay minister. Carol Angel was the greeter whom you met on your way in. Our ushers are Gail Bliss and Karen Jagger, and making coffee and all back in the hospitality area are Jeannie Hills and Rick DeVita, who has a thing for being called by special names, and today he would like to be Buckaroo Banzai. Thank you, Rick. I love that film myself. Oh, dear. Okay. Please note the announcements in the red floors insert to your order of service, which describes upcoming events at the Society and provides more information about today and upcoming events. Okay. Again, welcome. We hope today's service will stimulate your mind, touch your heart, and stir your spirit. Thank you.
from the fragmented world of our everyday lives, we gather together in search of wholeness. By many cares and preoccupations, by diverse and selfish aims are we separated from one another and divided within ourselves. Yet we know that no branch is utterly severed from the tree of life which sustains us all. We would hold fast to all of good we inherit, even as we would leave behind us the outward and the false. Let us labor in hope for the dawning of a new day without hatred, violence, and injustice. And in this spirit we gather, and in this spirit we pray. Perhaps you will stand for the lighting of the chalice. I don't have words. May the light we now kindle inspire us to use our power to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, to serve you, Spirit of freedom. Now, perhaps you greet one another, spirit of friendly neighborhood, yes. Scrambling already. Okay.
Are there any children who'd like to come up for the story? or any children at heart who want to join me here, and you wouldn't have to sit on the floor. Oh, good. We have actual participating children. Yay. Oh, hello. Now there's some enthusiasm. Oh, do you have a boo-boo? I'm very sorry to hear that, but your Band-Aid's pretty. Hello, sweetheart. Well, that's a good thing to do, isn't it? Oh, goody. Come on. You can come over closer. Since Mr. O'Brien is talking today, later, after you guys go to summer fun, about our expectations of satisfaction of all kinds of desires in the world, I thought we could talk about what we do have and how thankful we are for it. Things that we really, really enjoy. And the people in this book are really cute little fuzzy people. Here they are. I say, thank you. Aren't they cute? They're fuzzy people. That's all I know. They look fuzzy, and they're supposedly sort of like people. I say thank you to the sun above. Thank you for my friends I love. Thank you for the earth and air. Thank you for the food to share. Say again? Oh, these are animals. There's a something and a bunny. Yeah, this book is made by a very creative artist who sees us in ways we don't always see ourselves, which is a good thing. And thanks for trees, and thanks for trains, and for the breeze, and for the rain. See all those things in this picture? Yeah, trains. You like those, right? Oh, well, they're lots of fun to play with. Here they are for all the big kids in the audience. And look at these. What are these? Yeah, that are generating power from the breeze. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Well, they can't do that in this book because it's just a solid picture in time. But in real life, they'd be doing that. And thank you, ocean deep. Who do you see here? Yeah, great big whale. Who's this guy? Yes. That. Wow. All that in this picture? I guess so. Yes. Under the sea treasure chest. Woohoo. Yes. Yes, ma'am. See, it's right there. It's kind of hidden in the weeds. Yeah, oh, the jellyfish. We missed that. Oh, did you? I'm sorry, sir. I didn't. I apologize. And desert dry and mountains steep. See those? Oh, and pigs and cows and ducks and sheep and horses, geese and hens. What's strange about all these animals? Yeah, they're all wearing sunglasses, which is very important to protect our eyes. But usually you don't see them on cows and pigs and horses, right? Oh. And we thank you, and thanks for balls to kick and kites to fly and places to go when we need to cry. Do you have a special place you go? This little fuzzy is in his bedroom, it appears.
I go to glide behind my big tail.
That's a good idea, yes.
And my mommy and daddy never see me.
Oh, well, hopefully we don't have to cry too often. But you know, when we do, it's okay, right? Sometimes you just gotta cry. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, there are a lot of fuzzy people. To moms and dads and sisters and brothers, teachers and doctors and artists and others. Do you see all those people there? I'm going to pull it around there. See? Right. And look, some of them are doctors, some of them have on aprons. Yep. Yeah. Green and red and pink. Kind of like the real world, where there are people of all colors. There. See a stethoscope? Yeah. A big red fuzzy doctor. Yeah. Do you think this is the artist with the apron with all the colors on it? Yes. There's a basketball player. Okay, this is the most impressive page of all in the book because it has funny guys of all colors with other identifying. Look, this must be a business person with a tie on, probably a guy. This looks like a Ninja Turtle, doesn't it? Look at that. Oh, okay. Thanks for all these people who make our lives so much better for living. Thanks to music and dancing and singing and giving. Look at this funny purple guy. He's like a one-man band or a one-person band. Yeah. Oh, this is a good page. Thanks for patience and hopes and rewards and revisions and wizards and lizards and delightful decisions. Look at the lizards and wizards playing a game of basketball. Is that cool or what? And it appears that the lizards are green and the wizards are all dressed in purple with gold stars. You like this one? This is my favorite page. Yeah, that's a good one too. Thanks for taking time. Thanks for going fast. Thanks for jumping high, and thanks for finishing last. Because first isn't always the best place to be. And there's a tortoise and a hare, like in the old fable. And it really doesn't matter which one won if they had fun. And thanks for second place and fifth on through 453. Look at these people. There were 453 people in that race, or fuzzies in that race, and they all had fun. And we thank all of them. This is a cute one too. Even bad things. Now see, these look like sea monsters, don't they? Sticking their little heads up out of the ocean. Yeah, that's true. Here's a better picture of them. Even those bad things can turn out to be good. Look at that. Look at those sweet monsters. One's giving the other one flowers and a heart, that's right. So maybe they aren't so bad. Maybe they like each other and they're friendly, just like people, even though initially they looked like monsters. I like that page too. Those bumps and those bruises that turn couldn'ts to coulds. Now, I don't recommend doing this, of course, but this little person, fuzzy person, is trying to ride his skateboard along a stairs and kerplunk, he lands on the ground. See? But then on the next page, it shows, thank you for those problems, for they make us all stronger. They make us all smarter. They make us last longer. And look, there he is successfully doing what I don't recommend, which is going down the stair banister on his skateboard. Look at that. And he's done it successfully. This also applies to schoolwork and friendships and lots of other things that aren't as dangerous. Thank you to all that has ever existed and everything else I could never have listed. What's this over here? Well, it looks a little like a tornado, but what? Yes, the solar system, thank you. Which is, as far as we can see, most of our everything. Although we know there's some more stuff out there, but we can't see it very well. Oh, thank you with kisses and thank you with hugs from a part of my heart that is so full of love. Look at all those hearts. Aren't they cool? Yeah. All colors, just like the fuzzies. Yeah, there are a zillion. I don't even know if we could count them all. I know. Hundreds. Well, there could be. Hopefully there are 100 million people with love out there. What, say that again? Well, let's not think of it as a mess. Let's think of it as an expression of thousands of loving thoughts. How about that? Million zillion. Here's the last part. I say thank you to you just for being yourself. Yourself's as important as anything else. And here's a beautiful butterfly. Yeah, you like that story? Thank you very much. What? Yeah, that's the end. This is a nice book. I had to read only portions of it because it's very, very big and thick. So if you want to read it at home sometime, it's called An Awesome Book of Thanks. Okay? And now we are going to sing. No, we're not. Wait, what happens next, Jim? You can go off to summer fun. Everybody who wants to can go to summer fun. And the rest of us will rise as we're able by Sweetheart and sing We'll Build a Land, which is number 121.
Historian Daniel Boorstin, former Librarian of Congress and well-known historian of almost everything, wrote this book in a book called, wrote this piece in a book called The Image. In this book, I describe the world of our making, how we have used our wealth, our literacy, our technology, and our progress to create the thicket of unreality which stands between us and the facts of life. I recount historical forces which have given us this unprecedented opportunity to deceive ourselves and to befog our experience. Of course, America has provided the landscape and has given us the resources and the opportunity for this feat of national self-hypnosis. But each of us individually provides the market and the demand for the illusions which flood our experience. We want and we believe these illusions because we suffer from extravagant expectations. We expect too much of the world. Our expectations are extravagant in the precise dictionary sense of the word, going beyond the limits of reason or moderation. They are excessive. When we pick up our newspaper at breakfast, we even demand that it bring us momentous events since the night before. We turn on the car radio as we drive to work and expect news to have occurred since the morning newspaper went to press. Returning in the evening, we expect our house not only to shelter us, to keep us warm in winter and cool in summer, but to relax us, to dignify us, to encompass us with soft music and interesting hobbies, to be a playground, a theater, and a bar. We expect our 2-week vacation to be romantic, exotic, cheap, and effortless. We expect a faraway atmosphere if we go to a nearby place, and we expect everything to be relaxing, sanitary, and Americanized if we go to a faraway place. We expect new heroes every season, a literary masterpiece every month, a dramatic spectacular every week, a rare sensation every night. We expect everyone to feel free to disagree, yet we expect everyone to be loyal, not to rock the boat or take the Fifth Amendment. We expect everybody to believe deeply in his religion, yet not to think less of others for not believing. We expect our nation to be strong and great and vast and varied and prepared for every challenge. Yet we expect our national purpose to be clear and simple, something that gives direction to the lives of over 300 million people and yet can be bought in a paperback at the corner drugstore. We expect anything and everything. We expect the contradictory and the impossible. We expect compact cars which are spacious, luxurious cars which are economical. We expect to be rich and charitable, powerful and merciful, active and reflective, kind and competitive. We expect to be inspired by mediocre appeals for excellence, to be made literate by illiterate appeals for literacy. We expect to eat and stay thin, to be constantly on the move and yet ever more neighborly, to go to a church of our choice and yet feel its guiding power over us, to revere God and to be God. Never have a people been more the masters of their environment, yet never has a people felt more deceived and disappointed. For never has a people expected so much more than the world could offer. We are ruled by extravagant expectations of what the world holds and of our power to shape the world. Dave and Helen. Hard to follow. Well, as we heard in the reading, historian Daniel Boorstin says we have extravagant expectations. Why? Where do our expectations come from? I note that expectations are more than hopes. They carry a sense of entitlement, the way things should be. Well, they come from a lot of places. They come first from our parents or parent figures. We know about the extreme example that parents can have for their kids: prom queen, sports star. We also know the normal expectations: popular, smart, good-looking, respectful to us, competitive, successful, follow in our footsteps. But what if that's not their plan or their body's plan? Do they then become a disappointment? And what's it like to carry that sense of failure? Teachers certainly have expectations. Pay attention, be interested, learn. At least don't show you're not doing these things. But what if you're not interested? You can't pay attention. You can't or won't learn. You're going to be hassled. You're going to fall behind and maybe fail. You're going to carry that sense of failure. And your classmates have expectations. I can really speak only for the guys here. The expectations are clear and forceful. If you're big, you should be out for football. If you're tall, you should be a basketball player. If neither, at least not a sissy or a tattletale. And you should take sides and be loyal to your side, even if you might get beat on by the other side. And you should never cry. You get the pattern. Boorstin is more interested in the expectations generated by the mass mediums: newspapers, radio, television, movies. These mediums expect attention, even clamor for it, but just enough attention so that it doesn't become critical attention. And they know we want instant gratification, and so they constantly tease us with the next thing right after these messages. What are the consequences of this pandering to our expectation of instant gratification? Let's check in with our assigned authority, Daniel Boorstin. The making of the illusions which flood our experience has become the business of America. Some of its most honest and most necessary and most respectable business. I'm thinking, Boorstin says, not only of advertising, public relations, and political rhetoric, but of all the activities which purport to inform and comfort and improve and educate and elevate us. The work of our best journalists, our most enterprising book publishers, our most energetic manufacturers and merchandisers, our most successful entertainers, our best guides to world travel, our most influential leaders in foreign relations. Our every effort to satisfy extravagant expectations, Boorstin continues, simply makes them more extravagant and makes our illusions more attractive. The story of the making of our illusions, the news behind the news, has become the most appealing news of the world. Oh, by the way, Boorstin published these thoughts in 1962, over 60 years ago. Do they still sound familiar? These observations from a man who, despite his vast learning, knew nothing of the internet, the smartphone, Facebook, Twitter, friending and unfriending. What of them and the expectations they create? We're talking here, suddenly, about the social media. I'm guessing it started with email, exploded with Facebook, became worldwide with Twitter, became quicker and more evanescent with Snapchat, and is fractionating with multiple e-services far beyond my knowledge. For example, I don't know if Pokemon Go is a social medium or not. I'm afraid to know. I must admit that I'm not the best source of information here. I do have a smartish phone, but it's a lot smarter than I am, or care to be. I have a Facebook account that tells me I have 294 friends, but I have no idea who most of them are, or how they got to be my friends. I suppose I could go through the list and unfriend them, but that seems harsh. And besides, they might buy my book. Why are these social media so attractive? They are personal and instant. They give the illusion of connection and the illusion of control, of safety. We hear frequent stories of the emptiness of that illusion, not merely of pathological behaviors like the Slender Man stabbing, but the repeated reports of internet bullying among adolescents, leading to breakdowns, social withdrawal, and a sharp increase in suicides. And only adolescents? What about workplace bullying? Bullying of people perceived as different for whatever reason, way beyond adolescence. You don't grow out of bullying if it keeps working for you. How strong an attraction do these social media have? Well, you can imagine the powerful appeal of martyrdom. You ever wonder to yourself, how can these young radicals go out and strap bombs to themselves and die to kill other people? Would you die for a cell phone message? Would you kill for it? People do every day. They answer the phone while driving, they make that urgent call while driving, they text while driving, they crash and sometimes die and sometimes kill. I'm not trying to take some righteous stance here, I must point out. I've done a lot of distracting to distracted driving myself without the benefit of a cell phone. I'm only trying to show how intense is the urge to be connected in the instant and the occasional but growing cost of that intensity. This is the time for a person of my age to go off on a rant about the pace of modern life. Such rants go back a long way in Western civilization, at least to the ancient Greek philosophers. But I have news for them and myself and all of us. The pace of modern life is not going away. And it's not going to slow down unless cometh that great catastrophe, the apocalypse. You may recall Michael's recent reflections in that area. As my old compatriot Marshall McLuhan used to say, the medium is the message. The social media are here. They are multiplying, and there is no going back from them. And the new media inevitably change society. How will they change us? Political blogger Andrew Sullivan cites Plato's Republic to the effect that democracies, as they become more democratic, become more and more vulnerable to the appeal of a shameless demagogue. Fill in any name you care to. Well, the Republic was written some 2,500 years ago, but our founding fathers were well aware of Plato's warnings when they crafted the elaborate system of checks and balances which we call American government. They feared such a tyranny and they guarded against it. Consequently, The government works slowly, laboriously, often taking one step forward and 2 steps back, to the frustration of many and the satisfaction of others. As Churchill observed, democracy is the worst of governing systems, except for all the others. Sullivan points out what the 21st century added to this tendency toward tyranny in democratic political systems was media democracy in a truly revolutionary form. If late-stage political democracy has taken 2 centuries to mature in America, the social media equivalent took around 2 decades, swiftly erasing almost any elite moderation or control of our democratic discourse. Sullivan suggests that the process has its origins in partisan talk radio at the end of the past century. The rise of the internet, an event so swift and pervasive in its political effect, is only now beginning to be understood, further democratizing every source of information, dramatically expanding each outlet's readership, and giving anyone and everyone a platform. For example, Sullivan notes, political organizing, calling a meeting, fomenting a rally to advance a cause used to be very difficult. Now you could bring together a virtual mass movement with a single web page. It would take you a few seconds to set up. The distinction between politics and entertainment is becoming more and more fuzzy. Election coverage becomes even more modeled on sportscasting. Political speeches are crafted to produce a 10-second soundbite for the evening news. What this fuels, Sullivan thinks, is what the Founding Fathers feared about democratic culture, the valorizing of feeling, emotion, and narcissism, rather than reason, empiricism, and public spiritedness. I am earnestly attempting not to get into the political campaign here, but the most obvious evidence available suggests there's widespread anger, disillusionment, frustration, hopelessness, even despair in American culture. And it has certainly reached a boiling point in the contemporary election. Political liberals trace this back to Ronald Reagan's famous slogan, "Government is not the solution to our problem, government is the problem." But Reagan only said that because a lot of people already believed it. So they elected Ronald Reagan, who, for some reason, did not dismantle the government, since he was the head of it. The cohort which did embrace this motto, the Tea Party, represented only a small, fairly coherent slice of the political spectrum. But the political pollsters have been finding many of the people animated today by the political campaign had been largely indifferent to party affiliations and reach across a wide range of political attitudes. Of course, older political liberals, who shall remain nameless, trace this back to the disillusionment with the Vietnam conflict and the Watergate scandal, or perhaps even to the collapse in the early 70s of the social revolutions of the 60s. But who remembers that? Certainly not me. It is the responsibility, function, and fate of the government in power to be blamed for the contemporary situation, whatever its political stripe. And the blame game is, as always, momentarily satisfying, completely ineffective, and ultimately frustrating. We're told that we're a democracy, that the people have power, but then we don't see the change that we extravagantly expect, and we're frustrated again, and we want to express it. The social media have given anyone a voice. President Obama loved his Twitter account. The Pope has a Twitter account, and he uses it. Beyonce, well, I won't go through the full list. Is this a good thing? It sounds like a good thing, a democratic thing. Don't we all have a right to our opinion? Don't we all have a right to express it? Isn't belief in the democratic process one of our UU principles? But do the flood of social media statements emerge from a thoughtful, insightful consideration of the issue at hand? Or are they reactive, knee-jerk, gut-driven brain failings? Not to characterize them in any way. Boorstin would say that we have extravagant expectations for quick results from a system designed to work slowly and cautiously. We hear candidates say, on day one of my administration, but that's just not the way it works for any new president. Well, what can we do? We start with what spiritual guides call discernment, the power to distinguish, discern, judge, or praise a person or situation. For example, what do we expect of ourselves, of our spouses, our children, our schools, our church, our nation? Are our expectations reasonable? Are they based on righteousness or cynicism? Do they produce euphoria or bitterness? Do they lead us to action or discourage us from action? Boorstin thinks that what we need is to disillusion ourselves. What ails us most is not what we have done with America, but what we have substituted for America. We suffer primarily not from our vices or from our weaknesses, but from our illusions. We are haunted not by reality, but by the images we have put in place of reality. To discern our illusions will not solve the problems of our world, but if we do not discern them, we will never discover our real problems. To dispel the ghosts which populate the world of our making will not give us power to conquer the real enemies of the real world, or remake the real world, but it may help us to discover that we cannot make the world over in our image. Discernment will liberate us and sharpen our vision. We hope it will clear away the fog so we can face the world we share with all mankind. Let's get started on that right now. It's time for our offering.
We gather each week a community of memory and hope. To this time and place, we bring our whole and at times broken selves. Here, joys and sorrows find a place where they can be received, celebrated, and shared. We pause to acknowledge a previous concern and now joy, I assume, from Anne Smiley, this morning's lay minister, regarding her son, Will, who has been doing archival research in Istanbul for the past month. His flight home is Wednesday, and I assume she is very, very happy he's coming home and can't wait to give him a big hug. So we're all with you, Anne. May we silently, in the spirit of empathy and hope, hold in our hearts and hands the unspoken joys and sorrows of this community, as well as those of the mourning French people and the shaken and bereaved people of Turkey, as well as our entire wounded world. Because of this time shared, may our burdens be lightened and our joys be expanded. May we have a moment of silence. Thank you. I don't know about you, but I always find it reassuring to hear the voices of children in the background when we are thinking of things that are sad. They are the future, and they're busy out there. Now I would ask you to stand as you are able for our closing hymn, number 151.
May there be peace within. May you trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in yourself and others. May you use the gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content with yourself just the way you are. Let this knowledge settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It is there for each and every one of us. May it be so. Please be seated for the post.